everyone, welcome back. It's the time we've all been waiting for. The playoffs are here. I'm pumped. I'm excited. We're down to 14 teams now. In the first round, this will all be single elimination, so all the way to the championship, single elimination. We've got the NFC on the left, AFC on the right. First round, the two top seeds get a bye, automatic bid into the second round, so the Bears and the Chiefs. We'll see them in the second round. But without further ado, let's get to our first matchup in the NFL Playoffs Diecast Racing Edition. Let's get to it. Alright, up first we've got the 6th-seeded New England Patriots taking on the 3rd-seeded Cleveland Browns in the AFC. Should be a really good one. Cleveland's been tough all season, but wouldn't count out the Patriots just yet. So let's get these two lined up and we'll see who moves on to round 2. Alright, so we've got the Browns in lane 1, Patriots lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, what a first race that was. Very, very close, but the Cleveland Browns pulled that one out. Solid victory for them, and they will be moving on to round 2. Alright, let's get on to the next matchup. Alright, jumping over to the NFC now with their 6 versus 3 matchup. You got the 6th-seeded Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the 3rd-seeded Dallas Cowboys. I thought the Cowboys have looked strong all season, but I think this will be a really good matchup for them. Buccaneers certainly can't count them out yet. So let's get them lined up. I think this will be a good one. Alright, the Cowboys are lined up in lane 1. Buccaneers in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Alright, there it is, the upset early on in the playoffs. Tampa Bay pulls right out in front of the Cowboys, and down go the 3 seed. So 6th-seeded Tampa Bay moving on. Good victory there. That was awesome. Alright, let's get on to the next matchup. Alright, up next we'll stick with things in the NFC. And this is an NFC South matchup and actually a rematch from Week 17. So we just saw these two teams face off, but we got the 7th-seeded New Orleans Saints taking on the 2nd-seeded Carolina Panthers. I think this will be a really good one. Let's get them lined up. Alright, the Panthers are in lane 1, the Saints in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And just like in Week 17, Carolina pulls that one out pretty easily, so they will be moving on as a 2 seed. Good victory there for them. And I will say, all these teams that are getting eliminated, this is not the last you'll see of them. They will return with the same car next season. But as I mentioned in an earlier video, every team is adding a second car, so they will have this same car and then a second car going forward. So yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the next matchup. Alright, up next we've got the 4th seeded Indianapolis Colts taking on the 5th seeded Miami Dolphins. This one I think truly could go either way. I think this will be a really good race. But yeah, let's get them lined up. Alright, the Colts are in lane 1, Dolphins in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ooh. Alright, and there's another upset. The 5th seeded Miami Dolphins pulling that one out. Very good. That was kind of a nice back and forth there with the Colts. Solid season from the Colts. But yeah, solid victory there for the Miami Dolphins. We'll see them again in round 2. Let's get on to the next. Alright, and the final AFC matchup, it's the 7th seeded Tennessee Titans taking on the 2nd seeded New York Jets. New York has looked fantastic this year, only one loss on the season. Yeah, a little intriguing matchup here, but we'll see if the Jets can continue their winning ways. Let's get them lined up. Alright, the Jets are lined up in lane 1. Titans are in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so that was actually a little bit closer than I was expecting, but the Jets pull out that one. They're moving on. Let's get to the final matchup of round 1. Alright, in the final matchup of round 1, we're jumping back to the NFC. Got the 4th seeded Seattle Seahawks taking on the 5th seeded Minnesota Vikings. Even though they're the lower seed, I think the Vikings are the favorite here. They did have the better record at 13-3 this season. But yeah, should be a good one, I think. Let's get them lined up. Alright, so there's the Vikings in lane 2. Seattle is here in lane 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Alright, the 5th seed prevails. Minnesota's solid victory right from the get-go. They were definitely the faster car of those two. So yeah, good victory for them there. And we're not going to waste any time. We're jumping right into round 2. So let's get to that first matchup of round 2. Alright, and here we are in round 2. We'll go with the top-seeded Chicago Bears in their first playoff matchup. And they get to face the lowest remaining seed in the NFC, and that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as the 6th seed, coming off a solid victory over the Cowboys in round 1. But yeah, let's get to it. I think this will be a good one. Let's get them lined up. Alright, the Bears are in lane 1, the Buccaneers in lane 2. Can the iron strike twice for the Buccaneers? I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Well, Tampa Bay's luck ran out. They ran a good race there, but the Chicago Bears proved too much, proved why they went undefeated this season. So, solid victory for them. They go on to the NFC Championship game. Yeah, get on to the next matchup here in round 2. Alright, now jumping over to the AFC with their number 1 seed in the Kansas City Chiefs, and they will take on the Miami Dolphins, who had the 5th seed. They're the lowest remaining seed now in the AFC. ran a really good first race. We'll see if they can squeeze it out over the Chiefs. These two faced off in the regular season, but obviously the Chiefs won, so we'll see if they can do it again. Let's get them lined up. All right, the Chiefs are in lane 1, Dolphins in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What? And the Chiefs are perfect. No more. The 5th-seeded Miami Dolphins pulling off the upset. That is the upset of the season. Oh man, the inner Miami Dolphin fan in me is so happy right now. But the road's not done for them yet. They're headed to the AFC Championship game. My goodness, what a run that was for them. Chiefs had a good season, but dropped the ball when it mattered the most. So congrats to the Dolphins. They're moving on. Let's get on to the next matchup. All right, so we'll find out who the Dolphins play after we do this matchup here. You got the 3rd-seeded Cleveland Browns taking on the 2nd-seeded New York Jets. I think this will be a really, really good race. And yeah, let's get them lined up. All right, the Browns are in lane 2, the Jets in lane 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, really good race right there. The Jets just got right in front of the Browns and stayed in front all the way through the finish line. So solid victory right there for them, and looks like we'll have a battle of the AFC East in the championship game. So pretty cool there, but still got one more matchup going back over to the NFC, so let's get to it. All right, and in our final matchup here of round 2, we've got the 5th-seeded Minnesota Vikings taking on the 2nd-seeded Carolina Panthers. These two did face off in the regular season. The Panthers pulled that one out. Let's see if they can do it again here. Anything can happen, obviously, in the playoffs, as we've seen. So, should be a good one. Let's get them lined up. All right, the Panthers are in lane 1, the Vikings in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. All right, and there it is again, another number 5 seed pulling it out. That was probably the most physical matchups we've had. The Vikings just kind of bumped the Panthers halfway down, got them to slow way down, and just zoomed right on past them to the finish. So, really good race there for the Vikings. They'll be going up against the Bears in the next round, and let's get to it. All right, so we have a battle of the NFC North for the NFC Championship. You got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Chicago Bears. Now, these two have faced off twice in the regular season. The Bears won both times. But maybe the third time's a charm for the Vikings. I don't know. Anything's possible, I think, here in the playoffs. So let's get these two lined up, and we'll see who's headed to the championship game. All right, the Bears are in lane 1, Vikings in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, and sure enough, the Vikings did it again. They bumped the Bears halfway down the track. I don't know. They just They hit that straight track and they just have zoomed right past the Panthers and now the Bears, and they're headed to the championship game. Third time the charm indeed. What a victory, and we will not have a perfect season at all. Both our 16-0 teams are now out. So we have the 5th seeded Minnesota Vikings heading to the championship. Let's get over to the AFC and see who they're going to face. Alright, so now for the AFC Championship game, a battle of two AFC East foes. Got the 5th seeded Miami Dolphins taking on the 2nd seeded New York Jets. Also, same with the Vikings and Bears. These two have faced off twice in the regular season, and the Jets have won both times. But as we saw in the last matchup, doesn't necessarily mean much here in the playoffs. Anything can happen. So let's get them lined up and we'll see how they do. Alright, Jets are in lane 1, Dolphins in lane 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Ha! What is going on in these playoffs? This is astonishing. Apparently the number 5 seed is the place to be because the Miami Dolphins pulled it out, and we're going to have a battle of the 5 seeds. What a victory there. They kind of did that same little bump maneuver, slowed their car down, and just got in front of them and stayed there. So it'll be, yeah, let's get to the championship matchup. This is just mind-boggling. I love it. All right, so here it is, the battle of the two number 5 seeds in our championship, the Miami Dolphins taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings will serve as the home team here and get lane 1 since they had the better regular season record between these two. I think this will be a fantastic matchup head-to-head here, so without further ado, let's get them lined up and we'll crown our first Diecast Racing NFL champion. Let's get to it. Alright, here's our championship. Lane 1's got the Vikings, lane 2 has the Dolphins. Here we go for all the marbles. 3, 2, 1. And there you have it. The Minnesota Vikings are our champions of Season 1 of our NFL Diecast Racing season. Oh, what a playoff that was. My goodness, so many upsets. Dolphins cannot discount their effort knocking off the Jets and the Chiefs. And the Vikings, I mean, they definitely took the hard road to get to where they were. Wonderful championship run for them. They'll be back just in about a month. We'll kick off our next season. Like I said, we'll add a second car to all these teams. The teams that didn't make the playoffs, all those cars get scrapped and they get brand new ones. So I think it'll add just a more competitive element. I think it'll be really, really fun. But nonetheless, congrats to the Vikings. I know there's some Vikings fans that watch this, so congrats to you guys. I'm sure you're happy. What a season it's been. Super fun. Please like and subscribe and keep following my channel. I think you'll like what's on the horizon. So thanks again, guys. Tune in for our next video. We'll see you then.